Well, my
You
favorite one was there was a guy on CNN saying that there's a well-funded network of right-wing influencers that are organized. And they were trying to make this argument.
And who are the people like Theo and you?
Jen Psaki was trying to make this argument with Jon Stewart.
Oh, yeah. And Stewart called her out on it. And he was like, yeah, no, that's not right.
No, she was like, well, it's a right-wing movement. She's like, it's more of a comedian libertarian movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
which
what
is,
it
I think, is more like, I think generally speaking, like, as you've always said, you're kind of a mix of like some kind of more sympathetic to left-wing ideas, some more sympathetic to right-wing ideas, some sympathetic to libertarian ideas. But it's just so, especially like if you just know the people involved, like to describe you and Theo Vaughn as a right-wing network.
Organized.
Like, it's the most disorganized thing in the history of the world.
Organized and well-funded. I'm not organized, and I guess I'm well-funded, but it's not for that.
No, but it's no one from having the audience.
Yeah, but it's like no one tells me anything. Like, I can have on UFO people. I can have on comedians. No, there's no feedback. I have no feedback. There's no exchange between me and Spotify in terms of who you got this week. What's the month look like? Tell us the big names. They started at the beginning of the deal. They said, okay, who's going to be the people the first week? And my manager's like, hey, it's the same show. You bought the #1 show in the country. He's not doing anything different. And they're like, well, we would like to get some big names out of the gate. Like,
yeah. Like, that's just not what we do here.
No, I'm not going to change. It's the same show.
But the thing, it's such a funny thing because it is almost like, it's like it's like somebody in a marriage, like the corporate media, I'd say, they're like in a marriage and they're just lying through their teeth to their spouse. They're constantly cheating on them. They're getting caught left and right. Then they're saying, no, it wasn't that. It was you and you're the bad person and all this. And they're just like the worst, most dishonest, fucking obvious liars. And then they're like looking over at like someone in a healthy marriage and they're like, so what's that guy's trick? Like, how does he do it? And you're like, it's like he just doesn't lie to her. He's nice to her. And like, I don't know. Like, it's just like the thing is, the big secret is that you're authentic and just say what you mean and invite the people on who you're interested in talking to. And that was like the antidote to your insane tyrannical bullshit.
It's also that I started it not for money. I started it for fun, and it didn't make money for years. And I was independently wealthy. Like, I had money from Fear Factor, and I had money from stand-up comedy. I was like, I didn't have like a crazy lifestyle. I was like, I'm fine. Like, this is fun to do. I'm just going to do this. And then it just got big.
And it was so new.
And I never changed it. I just kept doing it. I made it better, got better cameras.
Yeah, that was it. No, it's funny. Sometimes you'll look back at those old episodes and you're like, holy shit, that's grainy. I don't remember it being that grainy, but it was compared to this.
Cameras were terrible back then. And we just used regular webcams that you go to Fry's Electronics and buy. We just like regular fucking USB microphone in the beginning, plug it into a MacBook. The whole thing was so janky. It was like, and now, they think somehow or another because it's big, it's been infiltrated. It's not that I haven't been offered. People have tried to buy percentages of the show and give me large sums of money. And I'm like,
Yeah. I'm glad you didn't make that decision.
Once you have fuck you money, you better say fuck you. Because if you don't, you're ruining one of the most beautiful gifts the universe can bestow upon a person, to never be beholden to money anymore, to just be able to like be yourself, to do what you like to do.
Tucker Carlson said about me once, and I thought it was like one of the best compliments I've ever gotten, and it really meant a lot to Tucker. He's someone I really admire a lot. But it was I think Patrick Bet-David, if I'm remembering correctly, he was on and it was before like the debate with Cuomo had been announced, but it was before it happened. Mm-hmm. And Patrick was like, how do you think that's gonna go? And Tucker was like, look, man, he's like, the thing about Dave is he is just totally unencumbered by any restraints. Like there's no, I mean, I think what he meant was just like, there's no one who's like cutting his check. There's no one who's like, there's nothing that holds him back. Like I get to do the biggest show in the world a lot because you like what I have to say. And so then that's it. It's not like there's no, I feel no like, man, I wish I could say this, but I really can't say that. And there's something about that is like, that's the new thing. And I'll say, I think and look, this is what's really crazy, right? Like the impact of what you did during this election going forward is going to be, and I know you don't like when I like suck your dick too much, but I'm just saying, there's the fact that Trump did the show, got such a great response from it. Kamala Harris refused and then tried to get you to change what the show was. And then obviously in hindsight, like, oh, you know, the conventional wisdom is you really should have done that. The new normal now going forward for presidential elections is going to be that the expectation is that you can, and not just your show. I'm not saying like you have to have the candidates on every single 4 years, although I think you should, but that's your choice, obviously. But the new expectation, the expectation used to be that 2 or 3 times a presidential candidate is going to have to go do one of these CNN debates where they will be asked these like very narrow questions. They'll have 90 seconds to respond. You know, it'll be Obama. You know, how do you feel we do this in the war on terrorism? Be like, well, first of all, thank you. And thank you for coming out. And we appreciate
That's
this.
pretty
and
good.
Fluff and bullshit and blah, blah, blah. And then hope
Can I
and
get a
change.
glass of water?
Just saying, yeah, like, but nothing, just emptiness. Nothing happens. And now the expectation is that you got to go have an organic, unscripted 3-hour conversation and probably do it a few different times with a few of the big shows.
Right.
And you get, you know, like you get to kind of see that person in a whole different way than we've ever gotten to see presidential candidates before. And the truth is that a candidate like Kamala Harris will never be a major party nominee again. A candidate who is what was her running mates? Walz. Tim Walz. These guys are not, because they're not built for that. The future is going to be guys like J.D. Vance, guys like Vivek Ramaswamy, guys like Bobby Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard. And by the way, maybe the Democrats will find somebody in there. You know, you wouldn't have predicted Donald Trump in
Gavin
2012.
Newsom is trying to do that.
I don't think
that's
it's
why
going to be him.
He wants it to be him so bad.
Yeah, and that's the
why
problem.
he's doing his podcast. And he's doing a podcast where I'm inviting everybody on.
Well, he's at least
I'm
right for
inviting
doing
everybody.
that.
Everybody, come on in, whoever you are. I'm inviting them all.
Hey, Gavin, invite me on. We'll have a nice chat.
He probably would.